are my superficial dating requirements. We need to normalize having some superficial standards because everyone always tries to make me feel bad for not dating guys that don't fall into these categories. But every time I do date someone that does not meet these requirements, I end up breaking up with them for this exact reason. There are just certain things that you are attracted to and certain things that you are not, and that cannot always be helped. So I'm going to accept myself for who I am, and I think that everybody else should do the same. So here we go. Number 1, you must be significantly bigger than me. I like to feel small. And this does not just mean height. You can compensate for height with muscle mass. I need to feel like you can pick me up with one arm. I want to be able to sit on your back while you're doing push-ups. If I sit on your lap and it feels like your leg is going to break under my weight, if I am not swimming in your jeans when I try them on, if you struggle at all to pick me up, it's not gonna work. Number 2, you must lift heavier than me in the gym. If we work out together and I am lifting heavier weights than you on any exercise, I will get the immediate ick and I cannot get rid of it. This includes legs. I should not be hip thrusting more than you. You are bigger than me because of number 1. You should also be stronger than me. I want to know that if I fought you, I would lose. The only exception is core. I do have a very strong core. If I can outplank you or do better ab exercises, I will excuse that. Number 3, now this is gonna piss some people off, but you must make more money than me. I have tried dating men who I make more than. It never works. It never works out. Budget always becomes a problem. Frustrations always grow. At the end of the day, I like men who are providers. If you plan on being the head of the household, you are going to need to make more money than I do. The only exception to this, which is very niche, if they have a side hustle as a photographer or a videographer, I will make exceptions for them because that can help further my side hustle, which I intend to be my main hustle one day, and then we can build something together. So it's a very small exception there. Number 4, you must know how to dress, and if you don't, be willing to let me dress you. I cannot have you embarrassing me every time we go out in public because I'm scared of what you're gonna wear. I like men that dress like grown men, not like they are still stuck in college or high school. If you don't know how to do that, that is okay, but you must be willing to accept my guidance or else this relationship is not going to work out. Number 5, teeth. We are grown. You should have had braces. And if you didn't have braces because you didn't have access or something like that, that's great. We're adults now. Invisalign exists. You should get it. If you have every new sneaker launch and you take trips regularly and you spend lots of money on other frivolous things, I'm gonna be looking at you like, why are your teeth not straight? They also need to be white. Crest white strips cost like $60. They work great. If your teeth are yellow, I'm going to question your oral hygiene and I am not going to want your mouth on me anywhere, which poses a problem. Number 6, no vegans. Vegetarians, I am undecided on. I don't care what your reasoning is. They always secretly want to convert you. I am never going to be vegan, so that's out of the question. And sharing food is a love language of mine. If we cannot share food, I know it sounds dumb, but it's not going to work. And last but certainly not least, they must drink. I know it's not good for you. I understand it is poison. I have tried dating men that don't drink before. It never works out. How are we supposed to go wine tasting in Italy? I want to turn up with my bae. I want to go on vacation together and have a great night and get lit. And if you can't do that, how are we supposed to...
One margarita, I'ma open my leg. Give me 2 margaritas.
Women have spoken and dropped the list of 28 places we do not want to go on a first date. This has caused much uproar and very polarizing feelings on both sides. I'm going to explain to you why I agree with this list. I do not think that any of these places are suitable for a first date. Now, I'm going to pause and give you a minute to read this, and you tell me, what do all of these places have in common? I will give you a hint. It's not the price. Like, none of these are very expensive, but the price is not the issue here. The thing that all of these places have in common is that they are not romantic and they are low effort. If you are taking me on a first date, this is your chance to make your first impression as a romantic interest that you are bringing forth to me. If you pick somewhere low effort, that is telling me I am not worth putting thought into the date, putting effort into planning a date. The price doesn't really bother me. I am a fan of certain dates that are cheap. The issue is I actually think it's harder to plan a cute, nice, romantic, cheap date than it is to do a more expensive one. And when men are trying to save money, a lot of times they just revert to these things instead of thinking like, hey, what's something I can do that's not a ton of money for this girl that I'm really interested in, and still show that I'm putting forth effort and that I am taking her seriously and still creating somewhat of a romantic environment. Now, we're gonna group these. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with them, and then I'm gonna give you a better alternative. First, these cheap chain restaurants, Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's. We should not be going anywhere that a 6th grade soccer tournament team might go to celebrate their win. I don't want screaming children running around. I don't want to sift through a 50-page menu to figure out what I want to eat. I don't really want to eat food that's just like heavy, gross, not that good. Don't get me wrong. Love Cheesecake Factory. I love Red Lobster. Like, that's like if we're together, we've been dating for a minute and we just want to go grab some food. Like, let's get out the house. I'm game for Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster, whatever. First date, no. If you want to take her somewhere that's a restaurant that's not as expensive, go on Yelp, look up restaurants, and look at the dollar signs. There are plenty of restaurants that are in a comparable price range if you want to do a restaurant date that are gonna have a cute ambiance. Maybe they have like a nice patio outside. Maybe it has more niche food offerings. Like, there are so many places. If you just do a quick Yelp search that you can find in the same price range as, especially Red Lobster. Like, I haven't been there in a minute, but I actually don't remember it being that cheap. Go on Yelp. Find a cute, thoughtful restaurant that's not going to break the bank. The movies. The problem with the movies, whether this is the movies, the actual movies, or this movie night down here, you're not talking to each other. The point of a first date is to get to know each other. I want to have a good conversation with you. If we're watching a movie that's 2 hours that we're just sitting there not speaking, I'm busy, I have things to do, you probably do too. So why would you not pick a date where we can actually talk to each other and get to know each other? This just feels like you want company, you want something to do. A movie date is for after we have been on a couple dates, like each other's company. Oh, you're doing anything? Let's go to the movies. The alternative is go somewhere where you can talk. If you want an experience, something that's like going on in the background, maybe take her to a live concert. For somebody that's like not as big of an artist, maybe it's cheaper tickets. There's a lot of like really cute places with live music playing that you can still have a conversation and get to know somebody and have something going on at the same time, watch a show and be entertained. Your house. Do we even need to acknowledge this? Why are you having a stranger come over to your house? If this is the first date, you deserve to be robbed. Then you'll know that you should not invite random women over to your house. All these fast food chains, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, like this is also self-explanatory. That is like, I don't give a crap about you. There is no romance here, whatever. We just want to be friends. The gym. Same thing. There is no romance in the gym. Now, I am a gym girl myself. I don't actually mind working out with guys. I will accept let's go work out together if it's a new guy and I'm still kind of vetting him and I'm not really sure if I want to sit down on a dinner date with him for 2 hours and be stuck there. At least if we go to the gym, I'm still getting my workout in, he's still getting his workout in, there was no time lost. But I do not consider this a date. This is like, we just want to get to know each other and vet each other out. I'm not taking that as a date in my mind. So I actually don't see anything wrong with asking somebody to go to the gym, but just know that that's not a date. That's you spending time around each other and deciding if you want to actually go on a date. Church, this is the same issue as the movies. You're somewhere where you're like not really getting to talk to each other. But I mean, if you're both religious, I actually don't really see anything wrong with this. If you're planning on like, oh, maybe we go to church and then go out afterwards and talk and walk around. Like, this is also like a vetting somebody to go on a real date. Like, church is not a date in itself. That's, I'm going to do something anyway. Do you want to come with me? Not a date. Starbucks is probably worse than a coffee date because you didn't even like think of like a cute random place to go. Like, you just went to general Starbucks. Starbucks and coffee dates, unromantic, quick, low money, low effort. No. Coffee date is, again, I'm running out the house and I just want to stop and grab coffee really fast. If I'm going, maybe we can go together and I can just see if you're a weirdo or not. But again, I would not consider that a date. I would consider that we're just meeting up to do a quick 10, 15 minute vetting of each other and make sure that we don't hate each other, which I think can be done over the phone. So I am not a fan of the coffee date. Ice cream dates, same thing. Very childish, very low effort. I do think they could be made kind of cute if there's some other element to it, like we grab ice cream and then we go take a drive up to this like scenic lookout point and we just like sit and talk. Like, there has to be, it can't just be we go grab ice cream. There's no thought that goes into an ice cream date. Also, how many of us are lactose intolerant? I'm not eating ice cream around you on the first date. I'm not eating ice cream around you until you really know me, because it's going to mess up my stomach and then you're not going to like me anymore. Family functions. Why are you bringing me first date to a family function? Are you that desperate to have company there? I don't need to meet your whole family. I don't even know if I like you. Why do I need to meet your whole family? That's a lot. Somewhere that requires a far drive. If this is a first date, you don't even know if you like each other or not. I'm not going to get in the car for 2 hours and drive somewhere to meet you, and I'm definitely not getting in the car with you for 2 hours. Somewhere that requires a long drive is reserved for like after date number 3. Bowling, and I'm also going to throw in things like go-karting, mini golf, like very childish dates. This is what we were doing in high school. There is no romance to these. If you want a fun activity, there are so many more interesting fun activities you can do with somebody. Bowling and go-karting and mini golf just feel like I haven't revamped my dating strategy since I was in high school. So we're just going to do what I always do, because I don't want to put any thought or effort into thinking of, hey, what actually might be a fun new activity you probably haven't done. I've had guys set up golf lessons for a first date. That's fun. Like, it's an adult activity, something that's pretty cool. Like, oh, I get an actual lesson. I want to learn how to do this. If you want to do an activity, do an adult activity. Even Top Golf is better than bowling or mini golf. Things like surfing lessons or like pop-up obstacle course events. Just be a little bit more creative and do something that, again, requires a little more effort and will be a fun bonding experience between the two of you instead of an activity we've all been doing since 6th grade. Hookah bar and a bar just for drinks. Again, it just feels very cheap, very low effort. Usually this is like around the time when dinner is, so I just feel like I'm hungry, you want me to eat before I come, and then we're just gonna drink alcohol. I also am not a fan of drinking on first dates, like more than one drink, because I want to be in my right headspace, like not just feeling like, ooh, yeah, I'm tipsy, like come here, boy. Like, no, I want to be sober and evaluate if I actually like you. And then sports events. This I think is hit or miss. There are women that really like sports events. I am not one of them, and I think a lot of women are not one of them. I have no desire to go sit and watch sports. Like, I've suffered through it for a few days. I'm not doing it anymore. Sports events is for you. Unless you have talked to her and you know she likes sports and you asked her, or you have like really great like courtside tickets, that's like a cool experience that any girl would like, skip the sports events. If you're going on a first date and you don't want to spend a lot of money, that's okay, but do something that's thoughtful. Even a picnic can be romantic. If you show up with all the setup, with flowers, with wine, with food, a charcuterie board, like you put effort into it, she's gonna like it. Women don't want to feel like you didn't put any thought, any effort, or any money into the date. So if one of these is your go-to, think about how you can elevate that with something that's a little more thoughtful.